Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Sin Permiso, a Latina lifestyle podcast. Bienvenidos, welcome to another episode of Sin Permiso, a Latina lifestyle podcast. Today I have an exceptional guest, an exceptional example. Such an exceptional example that she's touring the country right now with her inspirational speeches about her American dream story, becoming me. M.E. Who? Magda Esola. Gracias, Magda, por venir hoy día.
Gracias, Peggy, por tenerme. I love being here with you and tell you my American dream story.
Well, Magda is an extremely successful broker in the Charlotte area. She's been president of her association. She is a national board member for NAHREP. She is an investor. And she is an inspirational speaker. Magda, your story, I heard it about a month ago. It brought everyone to tears. And I knew right there I had to bring you to this podcast and share it with us. Tell us, ¿cuál es tu historia, Magda? Cuéntanos, who is M.E.?
Magda Esola. Yo vine a este país de Nicaragua. I came to the United States when I was 18 via Rio Grande. I was born and raised again in Nicaragua. And it was, myself, 5 siblings and my mom. And we grew up very poor. And I always like to be very clear and clarify poor financially, not spiritually or the abundance in mindset, right? But we were poor financially. And that was one of the reasons that my mom wanted to get us out of the country. Another reason is the chaos that was in the country, the political chaos that we had. And she was afraid for our lives, for the children. So she decided to, try to get an American visa first. And unfortunately, being 6 of us and her 7, we couldn't get an American visa. So the next step was to leave the country. And we first immigrated to Honduras and lived there for 4 years.
Okay.
And then in Honduras, life was very difficult. Even though we speak the same language, there's still some kind of, I would say, almost discrimination. And this is back in the early, mid-'80s. So there was a lot of turmoil in my country. So there was a lot of immigration. So people were leaving to the north Honduras or the south Costa Rica. So these other countries didn't want immigrants because they're poor countries as well.
Claro. Same story nowadays, Colombia, Venezuela.
Yes.
The history repeats
itself.
itself.
So we were not welcome there. So we lived in Honduras. We were legal there and decided to come to the United States. Second attempt. I always like to say, and to those listening to us or watching this, what were you doing when you were 18 years old? What were you thinking? You were probably getting out of high school, prom dresses, college application, military, getting a job, moving out of home because now you're an adult.
Correct.
But I, with my siblings and my mom, we were packing our hopes and dreaming that one luggage and in pursuit of the American dream.
And your mom by herself.
My mother, a 38-year-old woman.
Incredible.
With 6 children between the age of 13 and 19.
And some 38-year-old women today don't know how to make a meal.
Yes, yes, very courageous. And
courageous.
Yes, very
Wow.
courageous. I think that led me to so much success because I didn't come to this country. I didn't risk my life to come to this country and waste my life. So I make every minute count. I make every moment count. I make every opportunity count. And as we were crossing, we came to Mexico and hired coyotes to cross the river. And we went through a lot, the fear. It was fear and excitement at the same time of coming to this country of what I like to call it the country of milk and honey. The country of possibilities, the country of if you really, anything that you dream of
Yes.
can become reality in this country.
Correct.
You just have to work and find people because I do believe that we become who we are through all the people we meet in our
Mentorship.
lives. Mentorship for sure. And I found those mentors. So we crossed the river and we came with nothing. In fact, when we were at by almost by the riverbank, they asked us to get undressed. And my siblings and it was the most humiliating time. I was 18 years old, my brothers and sisters, and we all have to get undressed because they didn't want us to be wet, with our clothes wet on the other side. And that's the reason, what's the term
wetback? That's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from. So they tell you to take your clothes off so your clothes is not wet on the other side, so they don't know that you just crossed the river. So we crossed the river, and there was a lot in between. I'm giving you the condensed version.
Yes.
Like my brother getting lost for 9 hours.
Oh, your mother must have.
Yeah, my mom was devastated. She thought that he was kidnapped by the narcos. So there was a lot of pain, but in that pain, there was also anticipation and excitement.
Because you knew that you were going to a better place and the opportunity was on the other side.
Yes. And as we were crossing the river, now I have your lights here. Thank you for the invitation again, Peggy. But the helicopters, ice.
Wow.
And this is a mom, 6 children, and ice. You see the guns, the spotlights. I always said that was the first time Magda had the spotlights on her.
Of many more to come.
Yeah, many more to come after. But the spotlights were on us, and my older brother, got into a panic attack. I mean, emotions were high. And my mother grabbed him from the shoulder and shook him. And he said, "There is no time to be afraid. We are almost home." And slap him. And we were like, oh my God, that stayed right here in my brain. So anytime I feel afraid, there's no time to be afraid. Just make that extra phone call. Anytime that I'm like, oh my God, there is no time. My mother's words so wise.
Wow.
So that impregnated in my brain, and that's an anchor for me to, honestly, that have helped me succeed. There was a lot of times that I didn't want to feel like rolling out of bed. There's no time for that. Just gotta go and get it done. Like, Mel Robbins have the 5-second rule.
5-second rule. Do it. You got 5 seconds to do it.
Yeah, and my mom had there's no time to be afraid. Let's get it done. No hay tiempo de tener miedo. Hágalo.
Were you so inspired by your mother? Because I'm so inspired by just hearing this and thinking of her saying, like, slapping him and saying, wake up, snap out of it.
Yes.
Do you feel that you've been that anchor, or you've wanted to be that anchor for your children? Has that been your inspiration, your own mother?
100%. Definitely my mother, my grandmother, who was a farmer.
These strong women, where are they nowadays?
Here we are. We're still here. We are.
We're still here.
We're still here. Latinas, this is the story of my mom and many mothers and grandmothers. And yes, she has been my hero and a great example. I lost my dad when I was 9 years old. So here is a widower with 6 children, and she didn't believe in remarriage. She never remarried because she wanted to raise her children on her own and be the best example. So she was extremely strong in mindset, right?
Yes.
Is what you envision. She always told me since I was a little girl about dreaming, and the dreams do come true to those who work.
You have to work hard for it. We travel, we go, we speak in front of many people, Magda, and I find that there's always that same common denominator: hard work ethic, and consistency. How did you get into real estate and become one of the top brokers in the entire state?
That is a great question. I just told my story 2 days ago, and it was interesting. So I was working for a transportation company, making $40,000 a year in my late 20s. And I have my oldest daughter at this time, Melanie, who is a second-generation realtor. Very proud of her. She works for a developer as well. And I was working for this organization, making $40,000. Melanie was 5 years old, and I wanted to expand my family. Mm-hmm. And I knew how expensive daycare was. So I said, oh my God, what can I do to make money and stay home? Those kind of thinking as a mother. As a mother, right?
Practicality, ser práctica con el tiempo.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So what happened, like the law of the universe, everything happened for a reason. I opened the newspaper that day. I'm doing overtime on a Saturday. I felt horrible bringing my own child to work. And I opened the newspaper, and there's a huge ad that says, Weicker Real Estate, career night. Do you have what it takes? Unlimited potential to make money. I'm like, ooh, do you have a smile? I'm like, check. I'm gonna check this out. So I never sold anything, Peggy. I never sold anything in my life, and this is 2001. So I said, you know what? Let me go check this out. And there was this lady. I go in. I was one of the last persons that to get there because I have to pick up my daughter from daycare. I got there, and this lady's telling how wonderful her life was and how it started. So she inspired me when she said, you know, I was inspired by my husband because she wanted to leave him. She wanted to leave him, and she couldn't because she was a stay-home mom.
She wasn't financially able to leave him.
Correct. And he was a very, very powerful attorney in New Jersey. And he said to her, good luck to you. If you leave me, I'll take the children. She highly educated, but she didn't have a job. So what did she do? She got into real estate. And she said she made a copy of the W-2 form that he made over $1 million, okay? When she said that $1 million, I couldn't find them. I was making $40,000. $40,000. And I'm like, And then she goes on and tells the story that she got her real estate license. Mm-hmm. And because in the environment that she's in, right, all her friends were pretty well off. And she starts selling to them quietly. And it actually took her 2 years to take home, not sell $1 million, take home $1 million. And I'm looking at this lady, you know, she said it, I'm not a model. She was 6'4", probably 300 pounds. And she said, I'm not a Victoria's Secret model, guys. If I can do it, any of you can do it. And after that, I said, you know, we are all examples. Mm-hmm. We are all walking mirrors. Mm-hmm. We can, like, if it's been done, anybody else can do it. So I went on, got my license, sat with my broker in charge the first day, and he said, how much money do you want to make? And
I love when they ask that question.
How much money do you want to make? You have been legally licensed by the state of New Jersey to make as much money as you want. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have any customers. I don't have any friends. Who do I sell? And so I said, okay, I was making 40. I make 70 because I wanted to be part-time. I wanted to get pregnant. And I spend my family. I have my 5-year-old. I said, and he looked at me. He said, 70. Come on, Magda. You have that smile. And I'm like, what does a smile have to do with this? But anyway, it does help.
Everything. That's definitely your key element. When I think of you and your red lips and your smile, that is you.
Thank you, Peggy.
It's contagious.
It is. And so I said, okay, fine, 100. And then he crosses the 100 on the page, and I'm like, oh my God, not at this point, I'm really not believing I can make that kind of money. And then he says, what about if I teach you? And what I teach you make more money. I said, fine, 150. But honestly, I didn't believe it. Remember, it's part-time, 2001. And then he said, okay, he put 200. Make a story short, my first year working 2 days a week. I was working 8 days a week. I make $178,000 as a part-timer on my first year.
Wow, the power of the mind.
The power of the mind, mentorship, following goals.
Consistency, hard work.
Yes, and when I used to go to the office, Peggy, I was going to work. Again, it's like every minute counts. Make every moment count. Make every moment count, because as soon as we leave that moment, it's gone. So every moment has to be lived with intention, for sure. So then, this is in New Jersey. Then I moved to North Carolina in 2007. Mm-hmm. Again, didn't know anybody. And I decided to go work for a builder and developers. So I applied. They all called me, and I started working for MAME Homes. And then I was in new construction for only 2 months, and I attended what is called the MAME Award ceremony. MAME stands for Mayor Achievement Marketing Awards. And that award is given to the best of the best in new construction. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, this is May. I just arrived in April, so I've been in the company only a month. And I see this man taking the best salesman award for the state with, this is almost May of 2008, $30 million production. That's when the market was really bad. And he sold $30 million, and he's going across the stage, he's being celebrated, and I'm like, again, inspired. You can do it, you're not that special. I can do it too. Well, he was celebrated with $30 million production, and it took me 10 years to get there. But on year number 10 in new construction, I was celebrated as number one in the state with 48 million, and then the following year 52, and then the 56, and then almost 59 million dollars. I was celebrated, and to this day, my understanding is that there have not been one person in terms of production.
Yes.
Now, let me be clear, because I'm very, production is production. You know, real estate to me is the most fair job in my life. Like, I think.
Because you get what you put in.
Yes. Whatever you put in, you get out, right? But to me, the award that really meant the world was the Sales Professional of the Year that year, because that award is not given to anybody about production. It have nothing to do with production. It has to do with the philanthropy, with the work that you do for the community, with the work that you do for your peers.
Yes.
What kind of impact are you doing in life? Because we can all talk about, oh my
Numbers.
God, you make millions of dollars. In my career, I have produced about $500 million, individual, no assistant, over 1,000 homes sold. And it's impressive.
That is very impressive,
It is
Magda.
impressive, but to me, the lives that I touch is impressive, because that is the legacy, right? What I leave in people. I recently was in Africa, in Senegal. I was invited by my sister friend Pamela Valenciano with Built On, and we went and built a school. And we're impacting this kid's life, that is about 200 of those kids. But then generations to come through that school. In October, Peggy, I'm going, because of that, now in October, I'm going to Malawi and build another school. And in 26, I hope you can come with me. I'm going to Nicaragua, in my own country.
Cuente conmigo.
Gracias. Me encantaría
Cuente
que tú
conmigo.
vengas. Because I'm like, what legacies are we leaving? Are we really leaving a world better place? Because today, there is a lot of look at me production. You can go on social media. What does that do for community?
For someone else.
Yes.
For someone else.
Yes.
Magda, I love that you say that, because philanthropy definitely is a key element to being successful. When you're successful financially, part of it is obviously to be able to have more time to do what you want to do. But I believe that being successful financially is in order to help others. And what are you doing with your time? What we've done, with it be Rotary, Rotoplas, what you're doing, you went to Senegal. That is all that gives the meaning to our work. Yes. This is why we do this. And it's beautiful, like you said. Nothing will really be as amazing and interesting for the person that they're doing as far as work goes, unless they love it and they're giving back and they feel fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Real estate has fulfilled so many of us. In your case, you've gone above and beyond. I mean, like I said, you're a rock star. You are an unbelievable sales agent, but how you inspire, right? And I'm so excited that you're doing this, that you're going around and spreading more of that American dream.
Absolutely.
With everyone else.
The American dream is alive. They're trying to kill it, but it's still alive today. And it's our responsibility, especially for me as an immigrant. I live 7 years in this country undocumented. And I want to use my voice to tell all those immigrants that are right now undocumented. It's possible. I made it.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Yo lo hice, tú también.
Claro que
I'm
sí.
not that special. And you just have to find. For me, I became a sponsor, what I call a sponsorship, right? I became a sponsor because I have sponsors. So there's a difference, Peggy, between being a sponsor and being a mentor. A mentor tells me and shows me the roadmap. A sponsor says, Magda is in the room. She mentions my name where an opportunity arises.
Exactly.
And I have been given so many opportunities, and I've taken them. And then it is my responsibility to give those opportunities to others. I go to schools, predominantly brown and black schools, to inspire those children, because they see them in me. They see their parents in me. They know some of their parents like me. We have 63,000,001 stories.
Exactly.
We all have very similar stories. So what do we do with this story? We have to tell it. We communicate through storytelling. I feel responsible, right, for the human being I am, for living in this country, for being Latina. So people can say, soy orgullosa porque miro a Magda como Latina.
Magda es un ejemplo. Eso es lo súper importante. We're all here to be examples, to show that sí se puede, and that this is the side of Latinos that we want everyone to know and see. from speaking to you and during this podcast, I can't stop thinking about what you said. Carpe diem, right? Seize the moment. I want to say that is your legacy, that you make the most of every moment. That's huge. That's important. Magda, I want to thank you for coming and bringing the energy and bringing your story and inspiring
Gracias,
us
Peggy.
on Sin Permiso podcast.
Gracias por tenerme.
Thank you.